It's 10 o'clock, and this is Fox 10 Talks. Good morning, everybody. Did you see the backups, the massive backups that stretched for miles on the I-10 freeway this morning? This is what it looked like. This was just a little earlier this morning as Sky Fox was flying overhead with a view as to what was going on out there on the I-10 freeway. There had been a really horrific looking crash, and we have some of the video for you as well. This is where the accident itself happened. That's on those inbound lanes, and they were all shut down. And take a look at just how bad this was. So we've got full coverage on that coming up this morning here on Fox 10 Talks. We'll get you the latest. I'm Ron Hoon. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We got a great Tuesday show planned for you. And by the way, our poll question looks like this. Put that QR code up there right now. Is it time to get rid of the photo radar cameras? They're talking about it at the legislature. 34%. Oh, these numbers moving around. All right. 34% say, yeah, they're mostly money makers for these cities. 61% say no, they force people to slow down. And 5% think, what we really need are more officers on patrol, not more cameras. So again, you can grab that QR code. You can also go on to YouTube and vote there. So that's all coming up. Plus, Indiana, national champions. Did you notice how Fernando Mendoza's dad never stood up during that entire game to cheer him on? It's to show respect to Fernando's mom. It's quite a story. It's coming up. And although it may not seem like it, there are, believe it or not, fewer cars on the road than just a couple of years ago. And this trend may accelerate. Wait till you hear why it's happening. That's all coming up. But let me get you that report as they've tried to smooth everything out now out there on the I-10. But this is what it looked like just a couple hours ago as our Troy Barrett was up there overhead reporting.
I want to give you a quick look at the crash site itself. This is part of I-10 eastbound before it widens out and gives you HOV lanes and things like that. So there's just 3 lanes of traffic here. All 3 lanes are shut down. We do have this Honda Pilot that has rear-ended a work truck over here. A lot of damage to that Honda Pilot SUV, and you can see the DPS are here. We do have tow trucks on the scene. They're still doing a little bit of investigation, so a little bit longer before they go ahead and get those cars up on tow trucks and out of the way and open this road back up. You can see the DPS has routed everyone off of the freeway eastbound I-10 at Verrado Way, but I want to give you a look at the backup. It's about 1.5 to 2 miles now, stretching back just beyond Watson Road, and I'll take you all the way back to that Watson Road. It is starting to approach the SR 85 interchange as well. This is sort of locked in traffic here, all 3 lanes, trucks and cars. Some people are trying to use the emergency lane to maybe get to the ramp a little bit faster, but for the most part, everyone here is stuck for now and being forced off at Verrado Way.
Oh, there you go. That was the report. Now, let me punch up our live cam this morning to show you what is going on there. And as you can see, great work by the DPS and ADOT to get those lanes reopened. Sometimes these crashes, if they turn deadly, and that certainly looked like it had the potential, the shutdowns can last for hours and hours. But here, as we go on the air now with Fox 10 Talks, to update you, we can show you that they have managed to get all lanes of the freeway reopened. Well, I tell you, that 10 can be really tough on certain days. And so we just wanted to get you the very latest. Yeah, big story of the morning, that's for sure, when all lanes of the 10 are shut down, but they're all reopened now out there on the West Valley, whether you're heading into the city or heading out of the city. In the meantime, did you see what they were dealing with in other parts of the country? Let me just show you here. Hold on. I'm going to show you some video here. I'm looking for... Oh, hold on. Yep. Is it VO3? What do we have here? There's the crash. Okay. Oh, there we go. Right there. All right. Look at this. Celeste joins us well. Celeste, I was just changing planes in Michigan this weekend, and it was a pretty crazy situation because they had to de-ice the plane, and you're being doused in basically antifreeze. The entire plane is just getting the gooey stuff all over it. And yet, if you were out driving around, look at what people were dealing with. So this is in Michigan when this happened. And there were cars and trucks sliding off the road. This is on the I-96 in Zeeland Township. And it was an all-day situation. I mean, it started to get bad around 10 o'clock in the morning. They weren't able to get this freeway reopened until after nightfall. I think it was somewhere between about 6 and 8 p.m. last night. You know what they did? I will give them credit. They brought a bunch of buses out because people were trapped in the snow. And you can only run your car's heater for so long before you're going to run out of fuel. And so these folks had to deal with this whole situation. And it's just another reminder of why literally tens of thousands of people have moved here. Even though Michigan is so beautiful in the summertime, it can look like this in the wintertime. And who wants to deal with that, Celeste?
Yeah, no kidding. And not just that, Ron, but we don't know anything about injuries, I don't think yet, but it's like, you don't want to take these chances. I mean, look at the front end of this semi. It's crazy. And then you're shoveling all the snow. And I mean, it really is kind of frightening.
Well, let's talk about when it comes to traffic. The big controversy today in the state of Arizona is the photo radar cameras. I mean, they're always controversial. Let's face it, from the very day they went up. And wait until you hear how much money some cities in our country are making off of these things. That's coming up in just a minute. But here's what people were saying as we were going to kind of go out and about and listen and getting people's input on the idea of, is it time to shut them down, those photo radar camps?
Seeing so many people run red lights that I've become so much more of a cautionary driver. The driving culture in Arizona is weird. Nobody's all from here. We all drive differently. And if it helps, it helps.
If there's a push for legislation, as long as it's going in and being voted on, that's part of the democratic process. So I'm all for that. If they want to propose that, that's just fine. But personally, I would always vote on the side of making sure we keep our red light cameras. It may be annoying for some folks, but personally, I would rather keep safety over convenience.
And so, the debate is now underway at the Capitol, and I believe we are primarily talking about those photo radar cameras. Some lawmakers want voters now to decide whether they should be banned. Legislation that will put the fate into the hands of the voters is being moved through the legislature, and so you just heard a little bit about what people were saying about this, and we're going to get to our poll question in about 30 seconds. But Celeste, I did some digging.
Yes.
Take a couple of major cities in our country. I think whoa, what's happening? I think that these numbers will blow your mind. Ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go to Washington, D.C. Price is Right. About how much do you think they bring in? I'll tell you, it's over $1 million. About how much do you think they bring in per year from their traffic cameras in Washington, D.C.? Again, over $1 million.
Over $1 million. I'm going to go $5 million.
Would you believe $213 million?
In D.C.?
Yes.
In the District of Columbia?
Yeah, which is not a very big area.
No.
But they got a lot of cameras.
Wow.
So when people say it's not a moneymaker, it's a moneymaker.
So who's speeding? Like the congressmen and women? who
Right.
out? The FBI. Let's think of who's in D.C.
Yeah.
The FBI.
Okay.
CIA.
Sure.
Pentagon.
Well, they're not going to get tickets, right? Plus, if they could put a little red light up there on top of their vehicle.
Yeah.
But think about this. So this includes their speed cameras, this is the main focus of what's happening in our state, along with the red light cameras and some other traffic cams as well.
Yes.
And the money goes into their general fund. And this year that they're currently in, 2025, going into 26, it's projected at $260 million, a quarter of a billion.
So I want to see their budget sheets. So then where does the money go in
Celeste,
D.C.?
Good point. Okay,
Wow.
Look at Chicago. They break out their speed cameras separately from other tickets. In 2023, just the speed cameras alone brought in $100 million.
Wow.
So anyway, that's what's happening in some cities. You always hear the argument, oh, no, it's so expensive to buy the camera and, you got to put it on a mount.
A piece of steel.
Yeah. So let's get to our poll question this morning. What do you think? 33% say, you know what? They do seem like they're mostly just big money makers. 51% say, no, look, they force people to slow down. And 16% say what we really need are more officers on patrol. You want to have officers. Is there a reason that somebody's going 70 miles an hour down 7th Avenue when they should be keeping it at the speed limit? Maybe you want an officer to have an interaction.
Well, and I think there's an argument, too, for the fact that have they really, and I think we'll have to look into some of the numbers, and I'm sure it'll be shared at the state capitol. Do they really help save lives? Do they, or some of the arguments for and against, do they make the streets more dangerous because somebody wants to, get through the intersection faster than when the camera goes off?
Give her the gun, as the saying goes.
Yeah. Or, I do think that the numbers on the little crosswalk signs, I think those are very helpful.
Right. Yeah.
But I wonder, if have they really helped save lives?
Yeah.
I think probably they have.
Probably.
Because people know that, for example, in Paradise Valley, on Lincoln and Tatum, there and throughout Paradise Valley, they have those photo radar cameras, and they're prolific. People know that that's a speed and a red light camera.
Sure.
And if you don't know, you probably got a ticket.
Yeah.
But
so either
you know now.
Either you slow down or you just avoid driving through the city. I don't know if that was their intention, maybe to get people to avoid driving through their city so much, because that's really how you get from, say, 44th Street and Camelback up and around and over into Scottsdale.
Yeah.
Well, now you don't, maybe you just avoid driving through that community altogether.
Maybe.
Okay, so just real quick, let's look at the YouTube numbers. Oh, hang on, you guys. YouTube poll situation. YouTube. Okay, Angie, 22 is where we are. Celeste, how's it look? We got 20 seconds left.
So we have no is winning right now, 27%. They force people to slow down. Do not get rid of them. Yes, 51% says.
So that's actually winning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is winning. Whoever voted on this, though, they voted no.
Sure. Yeah.
They force people to slow down.
Okay.
But yes, they're mostly just money makers for these cities. 51% of you say, yeah, get rid of them.
Okay. And then 22% say, look, let's get some more officers out there on patrol, not on cameras. Now, ladies and gentlemen, coming up after the break, Big D has been sorting through some of your comments, and we will have him next. He's busy right now making plays, but we got a mystery cam back in 2 minutes.
I love that.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We got to the mystery cam right up against the break, so we're going to give you another, 15 seconds or so. And a lot of folks are jumping in, Celeste, with
this is gorgeous.
Various opinions on some of the topics of the day. But now that you can look out over this cityscape, go ahead and give us your guesses. And I like Lil Philosophy, who is saying it looks like Kentucky to me. We're seeing some other guesses as well, Celeste.
We are. We've got a Wisconsin from B. Miguel. Keep the music rolling.
Yeah, baby.
Yep, up.
Okay.
Linda Monter says Utah, Ron.
It does look a lot like those beautiful Wasatch Mountains. Celeste, I have to disqualify myself.
Because you know where this is.
I know where it is, and I don't want to give you any hints. So
I'm going to go Oregon.
You're going to go Oregon?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm wrong on this one, my wife Renee is going to get all over me because this is the city we honeymooned in.
Oh, this is Vancouver. This is BC.
Vancouver,
yeah, this is
BC.
Okay, so
that's my guess. But anyway.
I'm changing it to
No,
BC.
You're not allowed to. I'm sorry. We have to accept your first guess. The rules are so strict, Celeste, on the mystery cam.
Who makes the rules, Ron?
You're looking at him. Anyway. All right.
You're such a stickler. Okay, here we go.
Hey, man, it's all out war between you and me on winning this thing. So
Surrey, BC.
Yes, there you are.
Wow.
Well, that's a suburb. The camera's in Surrey, but you're looking across one more time right there. I mean, it is such a beautiful...
Is that like a river?
So we both lived in Seattle. You know, I went to the UW back in the 70s.
You're a Husky.
And so it was kind of cool because that's where my folks also honeymooned like 30 years earlier.
Oh, how great. Did you stay at the same place?
No, that was way too expensive. It was a place called the Hotel Vancouver.
That's where your parents stayed.
Correct. And I forget the name of the place we stayed, but it was nice.
Oh, is that where you were conceived? Do you know?
At the Hotel Vancouver. Well, Celeste, there's one thing I have to compliment you on. You know how to make me very uncomfortable. We've only been on the pod here for 17 minutes. So.
But inquiring minds want to know, Ron.
Yeah, I think inquiring minds want us to move on. Is probably more like the real situation. Okay.
Anybody
Anyway,
got some deodorant for Ron? He's sweating over here.
Really, I wear a Brute product. It's not working?
I don't know.
You can smell the sweat.
I thought maybe you were an Old Spice guy.
Yeah, well, I like the older. I do like the older
the
deodorants,
Old Spice,
like Brute and Old Spice.
Yes,
they're straight out of the 60s.
What about like a Lubriderm? Do you like the old type of lotion?
This is really getting weird. Dave on the Dave cam is
Dave.
Oh, there's that echo. Hello, hello,
let me fix.
hello.
Anyway, there's an echo.
We're going to go to Dave. And we're going to find out what you guys have been saying about the poll question of the day, which was several minutes ago, but we always love your feedback. What are you hearing, Dave?
Yeah, we've got almost 1,000 votes on YouTube alone. One of our users in Buckeye says we do need more officers on patrol, especially in today's time, but we also need the cameras. The police can't be everywhere. These cameras do help keep traffic under control. Hello Companion says if you don't want to pay the city money, then stop breaking the law. Paying some coin is the least you can do after going 60 to 35 and speeding through 2 red lights. And finally, Steve Keller, 7696, says they can't be moneymakers if people obey the law. It's not that difficult. Speeding feels like you're getting there a lot sooner, but it only saves a few minutes per hour. Really interesting takes. Keep them up, everybody.
Okay. Very good, Big D. Thanks a lot for that. And by the way, a little bit later this morning, Celeste, I have got to lay a number on you that's going to bog your mind.
Oh.
Remember yesterday we were at, what was it, like 8,000 votes on yesterday's poll question about Greenland?
Yes, within like an hour.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
So I kept tracking it, and you know where we are right now? I believe it's a new record. 18,000 votes. People have strong opinions on this Greenland. So we're going to do a poll queue, re-queue a little bit later and read a few more of your comments. By the way, we have been standing by all morning to see if the 9 justices on the Supreme Court can come up with a decision on these tariffs that the president's been utilizing. And we also expect for him to arrive in Davos, Switzerland, in a few hours and it's going to be fast. I would love to be a fly on the wall when these various European leaders meet with the president and give him their strong opinions about what's going on. But anyway, we do not have a decision yet about the tariffs overall. That could be pretty earth-shaking, and we are going to wait to watch and see. We have Sten Rynning joining us. He is the director of the Danish Institute of Advanced Study and a professor of war studies at the University of Southern Denmark. Who better to call on today to get a sort of a firsthand feel for how all of this is playing out inside Denmark?
Yeah, Sten, good morning. We're glad that you're with us. Give us an idea of what is actually happening there in Denmark and the thoughts of maybe some of the leaders there in that part of the world.
Well, hello, and thank you for having me. I'll say that in Denmark, we are exceptionally concerned with the situation related to Greenland. It's a question of our territorial sovereignty and integrity, and we've been with the United States feels like forever. We were the best of friends, and I think a lot of people here, they simply do not understand why this is unfolding. And when it comes to the situation in Davos in Switzerland, where all the bigwigs are meeting, our prime minister is not going, our foreign minister is not going, and you would think, why are they not going? Because this concerns Greenland and Denmark. Well, the reason is, I think, that they want to let this play out as something that's bigger than just small Denmark and big U.S. This is about how allies across the Atlantic deal with one another, and thus I'm sure they made an agreement with the big European countries, the big allies, that they will carry this conversation with President Trump in Davos, hopefully to the benefit of the alliance and not at the cost of Danish sovereignty.
Well, we did see a couple of high-ranking officials come to Washington and get a chance to meet with, I know, the vice president. I think the president might have been involved in some of that, but went away, I guess, empty-handed. It sounds to me like both sides are obviously very far apart on that. As they returned to Denmark, how did all that play out?
Well, for a brief while, there was a hope that what the Danish and Greenland representatives had tried to achieve with Secretary Rubio and Vice President Vance, namely to open a diplomatic track where our two countries, along with NATO allies, could work out how we collectively could reinforce Arctic security to the benefit of us all. That track would work. But within 24 hours, I think that hope was pushed aside by some public provocative announcements concerning President Trump's view of where he would like things to end, and that is with taking Greenland from the Kingdom of Denmark and having it become American.
I did a little research on your background, and you said had you not drifted into war studies, you probably would have become a historian, that you have a great love for history. And you also write a little bit about NATO and the strong ideas that NATO can use to help build political order. What does this do, what President Trump's efforts are kind of aiming towards, do to political order in a global landscape?
Well, NATO has always been the solid rock foundation of global order, in the sense that it has brought together the richest, most democratic, prosperous, stable societies internationally, and had them work together in support of world order. NATO, admittedly, as it expanded, it's now 32 countries. That's a big club, right? Admittedly, getting to agreement in NATO, and NATO works by consensus. Everyone has to agree. That's a lot of work. But when the U.S. leans in and takes leadership, it actually does work. It's a little bit painful, but it does work. And once you have NATO consensus, it's a tremendous force. It's very hard to shake NATO and to build an alternative global order than the one that the NATO allies desire. And what we're seeing here, what President Trump is not investing in, he's not investing the time and the effort to build consensus in NATO. He's charging ahead with what he sees as U.S. national interests at the expense of Canada and Denmark, and singling out some other European allies for economic punishment. And it's not building NATO, it's detracting from that world order that the U.S. itself
All right.
built.
I've got one more question I'm really dying to ask you. Can you stick around for the break?
Absolutely. Please.
Okay.
I'll stick around.
Let's take a break, Syleste.
All right, we'll be right back.
All right, everybody, welcome back. And we are wrapping up our conversation here with Sten Rynning with the he actually serves a number of different functions there in Denmark. One more question for you, Sten. It has to do with where ultimately all of this is headed. I know you have obviously, you studied with the Department of War there as well. I think there's even a lot of skepticism on this side of the Atlantic that it would ever come to that. But could you see a scenario where perhaps the U.S. negotiates to get more military bases on the island, on Greenland, and perhaps maybe more access than they currently have to rare earth minerals, and that might be the solution to it all?
I think for sure that is an off-ramp that would be met with relief and agreement on this side of the Atlantic. And that's not only Denmark, but I think the other North European Arctic invested allies of the U.S., they would welcome U.S. leadership in the region, and they would welcome a collective defense agreement to invest in common. And Denmark has already a treaty with the U.S. inviting this type of engagement from the U.S. And they have already said we're happy to expand on that, and we would love to work with the U.S.
I said that was the last question, but one more last question. How many times have you been to the Viking Ship Museum in Roskilde? I went there once, and I think if I lived in Denmark, I'd go like 3 or 4 times a year.
Oh, well, no, I've been there maybe 3 or 4 times in my life, but it's a wonderful museum. I've been also to other Viking ships in Denmark, but I enjoy it.
I'm glad you like it. Yeah.
And one more last question for you.
Here we go. Go ahead, Celeste. What?
What is what is there a delicacy that Denmark is known for? Is there something that people should order if they visit Denmark and head to a restaurant? Like a cheese Danish, maybe?
Our audience loves food talk, so whatever you got, lay it on us.
So I think we're famous for our open-faced sandwiches on rye bread, and they come with all kinds of goodies on them, and they're a delight. And have that with a cold beer and a small schnapps, and nothing can go wrong.
All right, what time are we meeting at the local pub, Sten?
Yeah,
we'll be there.
Anytime you want, just let me know. I'll be there.
Sten, seriously, we hope you come visit with us again. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Sten.
Well, thank you.
Okay, so let's get right into our poll Q, re-Q. Celeste, we have a poll Q, re-Q situation today. Poll Q, re-Q, talking about Greenland. Look at this, over 18,000 votes. And take a look at the way the numbers played out, Celeste.
My goodness. So what's your take on Greenland ever becoming part of the U.S.? 70% of people voted in this direction. Leave it alone. It belongs to Denmark and always should. 17% said I agree with Trump, and 13% said maybe, only if it's done through negotiations, no military action. That is a huge number.
Now, this is interesting because of the QR code poll, which is primarily through you, our viewers. I mean, the YouTube poll obviously is around the world. I agree with the president. We need it for our national security. 35%. Only if it's done through negotiation, no military action. 18%. Then 47% say leave it alone. It should always belong to Denmark. And that is our poll Q, re-Q,
Ron,
for today.
Listen to Jennifer's comment, Jennifer22. We could hook up with Greenland, but leave them the way they are. It's like when you meet somebody, new at the coffee shop or something. You think they could be the local bar? Or the local bar or pub.
Yes.
You think they're the one.
Okay.
You can hook up with them, but love them the way they are.
And leave them the way they are.
And leave them the way they are. Like you can't hook up with somebody thinking you're going to change them.
That's today's romance talk. From Celeste. Oh, boy. Hey, by the way, we have the video. This is so cool from the game last night. I don't know if you guys all got a chance to watch it, but here's what it looked like as President Trump was featured on the camera there. Oh, and by the way, during the national anthem, they actually cut away in the crowd. I guess because he has a house in Florida, he lives in Florida.
Yes.
This is his own suite.
Oh,
at this ballpark, and he brought his grandkids.
That is so cool.
So, anyway, that was at one point during the national anthem as well. Now, the game itself, Celeste.
Yes.
Thoughts?
Amazing. It just was amazing. I thought it was.
This is coming from the mom of a quarterback.
And mom of sports children, anyways.
Right.
But the storyline, I love sports, but because of the stories behind the people who are the athletes.
Okay.
So he said he was a 2-star quarterback.
Fernando Mendoza.
Yes.
Okay. Coming out of high school. And then what happened?
And University of Miami, according to one of the commentators last night on the game, said that he wasn't even given a walk-on status. At University of Miami. And then he goes to Cal, gets in the transfer portal, goes to Indiana, and he beats Miami, the one school that didn't give him a walk. He didn't even want a scholarship. He's from Miami, and he goes out there 2
miles away from the campus.
Yeah.
And remember during the game, they showed a picture of him and his buddies when he was like 12 years old he grew up a fan of the Miami Hurricanes, and he beat him for the championship.
Yeah. And I do feel for Carson Beck. Both of them were really great quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But the other thing I really love about him, and I saw this this morning. Let me just read this real fast, Ron. It was something Mendoza said.
Yeah.
He says, I want every kid out there who feels overlooked, underestimated, to know I was you. I was that kid too. I was in your shoes. The truth is, you don't need the most stars, hyper rankings. You just need discipline, heart, and people who believe in you. And you need to believe in your own abilities.
Wow.
That, I think,
good for him.
Is more than just a sports statement. That is a life statement.
By the way, you're going to love this. We are efforting our sports department tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be Blake or Richard or who we're going to get. We want to get their opinion on, is Indiana the new Bama?
Oh.
Are they the new dynasty in college football?
Is Kurt the new
Curt Cignetti, the new Nick Saban.
Yeah.
Well, now that's a different category altogether. We'll talk in about 10 years.
Is Nick Saban listening? I don't know. Are we going to have a statue of Cignetti right there on the campus? That's what they have, a statue of Nick Saban.
Sure, they do. By the way, we're about a minute away now from a important political guest that we want to introduce you to. But first, Celeste, I just thought we should mention, now that the football season is over,
yes,
we are certainly proud to announce that the University of Arizona is not just ranked number one in America in college basketball.
Yes.
But they are, for the first time this entire season, they were the unanimous number one. They are undefeated at 18-0 and are heavy favorites to make it to the Final Four of March Madness.
Wow, good for them. Who was the coach? Was it Olsen? Who was the other coach?
Oh, Lute Olson.
Lute Olson.
Yes.
That was the last time I remember growing up here in the Valley knowing that U of A was a powerhouse when it came to men's basketball.
Yeah, they really have been, and they are back and back big time. So congrats to them. And those are some of the nicest words you're ever going to hear about U of A from Celeste, our local Sun Devil. All right, let's bring Angie to the microphone now.
Hi, Angie.
This is a great chance for us to get to know you just a little bit. It's Angie Montoya. You're running for Congress.
Yes, for CD1.
Okay, CD1, Congressional District 1. So why?
Yeah.
Why? I think I'm not happy with the direction the country's going in. And I think as a mom, there's so much more we can do to help families, not just across the Valley, but over the United States. And I teach my kids to not come to me with problems, come to me with a problem and a solution. So I don't want to be a hypocrite and be a bad role model to my kids. I see problems and I have solutions, and I would like to work on that.
Let's listen to some of your solutions. What are some of the things you think need to be addressed, and how would you address them?
Yeah, so I think first and foremost, my main passion, my main goal is to get universal health care for our families. I believe during the 9 o'clock hour, you all ran a story about a family that was involved in a car accident last week, and they're having to have a GoFundMe to pay for medical bills and the care for their child. And I think, we're the greatest country in the world. We shouldn't have to have families creating GoFundMes just to pay for medical bills. They should be focused on the care of their child during this very, very difficult time. So I think universal health care will definitely help families for sure.
I saw an interesting poll today that said, despite all the upheaval in the world, whether it's Greenland or Venezuela or whatever, that over 40% of people in this poll, by far number one, are mostly worried about the economy and their personal financial situation. What can you do in that regard?
Yeah, so I think that universal health care is a piece of that. If we don't have to worry about copays and emergency room visits and cancer treatments, we have money that we can use for other things. I think, we're all waiting for the Supreme Court to tell us what's going on with the tariffs. I think that's an important tool in our government, but it's not been wielded correctly. It's kind of been a machete as opposed to a scalpel. And I think we need to look at how that's negatively impacting American families as well. And then, of course, a focus on jobs. I know the last few years, it's been very difficult if you are job hunting to find a role. These ghost positions, you interview, and then the position's filled and you just don't hear back. So I think, again, universal health care, looking at the tariffs, hopefully Supreme Court finds in favor of the American people, and then working on job creation as well.
A couple of interesting facts that I'm reading about you. You're a woman in tech.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you do in technology?
So I'm what they call a product manager, and that is the person that kind of tells the software engineers what to do. So I am like a mini CEO of sorts.
Okay.
I have to listen to all of our stakeholders, which is primarily engineering, but also sales, account management, finance, legal, billing, and listen to everyone's concerns and then prioritize those concerns according to what we can and cannot get accomplished over the next 1, 3, and 5 years. So very similar parallels to I think what a representative should do, keyword being should do, is listen to your constituents and your stakeholders for the role.
The number of layoffs in tech this last year was unbelievable.
Yes.
The last number I saw was 1.2 million. Are those jobs gone? What can be done to kind of re-bolster the job market in tech? Because I think we probably all know some people who have lost their jobs.
Yeah, I know many people. I know many people who are desperately searching, have been searching for over a year, and it has been a very, very difficult time in our industry. I think the hot button topic and the buzz phrase is AI. But I think we need to pull back and focus a little bit more on the basics and ramp up the things that are going to help us every day. I think I remember a quote, ironically enough, from the movie Jurassic Park, and it was, we were so focused on whether or not we can or whether or not we could, we didn't think about whether or not we should. And I think that's applicable to AI. I think we have a lot of things that we need to think about long term before we really, really, really go into AI. I think, being in a desert state, the water that's needed for these data centers is something that we need to look closely at and maybe not necessarily go full bore.
Yeah. Let's do this if you don't mind hanging with us. We have a quick commercial break.
These commercials.
And then,
oh my goodness.
You and your commercials.
We got to pay Ron's salary, Angie.
It's fair.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick break. Hang with us though, and then more with Angie after this.
Welcome back to more of Fox 10 Talks, and we continue our conversation with Angie Montoya, Democrat running for Congress in Congressional District 1.
Yes. Okay, we were just chatting. You have 3 children.
I do.
How old are they?
So my oldest, believe it or not, is 26. My daughter is 14, and my youngest son will be 12 on Friday.
And I just asked what your children think about you running for office.
They really don't care. They don't care. I kind of think it's cool. Not super involved in the process.
Yeah.
Their life is pretty much the same at this point because dinner still gets on the table. Like, I'm still a mom at the end of the day. Right, yeah. I'm still a mom at the end of the day, regardless of what I'm doing for work or second job running for Congress. Laundry still needs to get done. Dinner still needs to be made.
Amen,
dishes,
sister.
So,
and one last question, because I know we have to wrap here soon. But one of the interesting, I always look for the interesting facts about people we have in. You have been a part of a roller derby track team.
Yes.
Yes. Strawberry Short Shank.
Shank
For short.
Yes. Yes.
What has that game? Because it's a pretty tough game.
Yes.
Being on the roller rink. What has that taught you about life, or how do you use that as fuel in other parts of your life?
Yeah, so I used to skate with Arizona Roller Derby, and then I kind of semi-retired during COVID, and then I came back with ASU's club team, the Derby Devils. I skated with them and coached them for a little bit. 2 things I think that they teach you. One, the importance of community. It's such a great community, and I've met so many amazing people. Most of my friends are still Derby friends to this day. We went Sunday, I went with a friend to ASU's women's hockey game on Sunday with a Derby friend.
Is it like politics where you elbow the people next to you?
I mean, there are certain guidelines, there are certain rules you do have to adhere to. I would say it's taught me a lot about myself personally and the grit and the tenacity that I have as a person. There are a lot of skaters that are twice my size. You probably can't tell from sitting here, but I'm only 5'1". So it's taught me a lot about myself and how to persevere and get through tough things.
Would you be willing, rather than a debate, to have your Republican opponent and a Libertarian in the ring with you, and
Absolutely.
you just go ahead and give them the best moves you got?
Absolutely.
Or, yeah.
I'm known as a jukey player, which means I can kind of move pretty quickly.
Nice.
So I feel like I'd be down for that.
That'd get
sort of
bigger
match.
ratings than a debate.
I
Let me
think
just
so
tell
too.
you.
Okay, Shank.
I'm down.
Watch out for Shank.
All right. Thanks for coming in, and best of luck to you.
Yeah.
Thanks
Thank
for
you so
sharing
much.
your thoughts
Thank you for
with us.
having me.
You
Thank
bet.
you.
Hey, it's interesting, Celeste, because we were just talking about college, Indiana University,
Yes.
University of Miami, ASU, U of A. We've mentioned them all. But this story to me is really fascinating. That we have, there's a tipping point for students, college students, when it comes to how much time they spend playing video games.
Thank goodness.
I know it's a big.
Okay,
it's
what is
a
the
big
tipping
topic.
point here?
10 hours a week. If you go over 10 hours a week, consistently, your students will have a worse diet quality. They'll have a higher BMI, body mass index.
Okay.
They'll have worse sleep and overall just sort of general, malaise, I guess you could say.
You know what's crazy is that we have studies like this, but schools now have full gaming
Good point.
degrees.
Yeah, right.
And so you have these big rooms at all top universities where
Right.
you can get a gaming education, create games, code games, do cool things like that, and get a degree and work for a top gaming company and make maybe north of $100,000, $200,000 a year.
Wow.
Because you know how to code and create these things because they're big money.
So here's my question, though, when it comes to more than 10 hours. What are we talking about? 12, 15,
That sounds
20 hours a week?
crazy.
Celeste, I think you worked while you were in college, correct?
Oh, every day. I've been working since I was 15.
What were some of the jobs you did?
I was hostess. I was
really? Do you want to name the restaurant?
Manuel's Mexican food restaurant.
Sweet. I wish I'd known you
We
then.
used to wear these like Mexican dresses,
Yes.
with the lace and the different colors.
And I worked every night at the radio station in Tacoma.
In flannel.
Yes, a lot of that. Starting at 10 at night, going till 2 in the morning.
Yes.
Crashed at my apartment at 3, and I was up the next morning for classes in Seattle at the UW. And it's a drive on the 5. I can't. If you're spending 15 hours or 20 hours a week playing video games, I'm sorry. You need to call mom and dad and say, send me less money. I'll work more for my tuition.
Yes.
I just realized I'm spending 20 hours a week playing video games instead of working.
Yeah.
And able to pay for my education.
What is going on?
Get me off this soapbox.
Yeah,
Celeste.
10 hours a week. I mean, my goodness.
That's at a minimum,
nuts.
right?
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Because, as an 18-year-old too, Ron, as you mentioned, their prefrontal cortex has not been fully developed. That's a part of their brain.
This is the part where you're hearing from Professor Rodriguez now. Anyway, the prefrontal cortex?
Yeah,
Go
that
ahead,
is the
Celeste.
part of the brain, the decision-making part of the brain.
Okay, it's
It
true.
is not fully developed, according to neurologists, until
Sure.
they're about 25 years old.
Okay.
So if you have a young man, as I do, and they act like they don't know what's happening, it's because they really may not know.
Okay. So, but what you are saying is that the male population can't use that excuse when
No.
they hit their 40s and 50s?
No.
Okay.
25, it's done.
Let's find out if Dave had a job in college. Dave, I doubt you, of course, going to USC. We don't talk about that a lot, but he's a proud Trojan.
Oh my gosh, and that's a big time school.
I got to believe you had a part-time job in your college years. What'd you do?
I did. I was a server first at California Pizza Kitchen in Los Angeles.
CPK.
Yeah, and then also at our university club, where the faculty go to eat at USC.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so
By the way, AZ Raider is saying, Celeste, no way. I worked off and on at Manuel's for years.
Oh my gosh, I wonder if we were at the same location.
You guys might have been.
So, Dave, I have to ask you though, what's your favorite pie at CPK after working there for?
You know, I'm pretty sure they took it away. It was called the carne asada pizza. They had basically put steak on a pizza. I love that one. But now I would go with the California Club pizza.
Okay, we need to do a quick segment. What's one thing on somebody's menu or at some store, edible, that we wish they would bring back? So Dave's like, bring that one back. Celeste, do you have anything in the universe of fast food or restaurants that is no longer, or you wish was just on the menu? Like for me, Thousand Island dressing. Can we get that back on the menu? I know you guys know how to produce all kind of vinaigrettes. I like Ken's salad dressing for $3 at the grocery store, and so I'm hooked on Thousand Island dressing.
You know what I would bring back?
What?
Sizzler.
Oh,
going to
salad
Sizzler.
bar.
I'm going to Sizzler. You know, I would bring back the Sizzler salad bar.
Yes.
Growing up, we always went to the Sizzler on Baseline and Mill Avenue.
Okay.
And we would go there. My nana and thought that the whole family, it'd be like 20 of us. And we would sit down at this big long table and we would have a salad bar and shrimp and all the food. You know, it was just like a thing.
I feel like they had one over around McClintock too.
They
I remember
probably
kind of going
did.
to that one. So I loved the Sizzler.
Oh my gosh. I think they still have one in Flagstaff, fortunately.
Yes.
But it's
Never
like,
go away.
it's the and Pizza Hut used to have a salad bar.
Yes.
When I was little, my mom would take me. The salad bars I miss.
I know.
I really do.
Now they want you to just pick up your pizza and leave.
Or Claim Jumper. Claim Jumper used to have a salad
There
bar.
is one other item, and you're going to think I'm weird for bringing this up. And I know once we get going on the food chat, if you guys have, for example, the enchilada at Taco Bell, says AZ Raider.
Yeah, the bacon tempura at Ramen Hood.
How about the double decker from Taco Bell, says I Show Abstract Concepts. This is good, you guys.
Yeah, Mexi Melts from Taco Bell. Oh, and don't you love a good Mexican pizza? I think they got that. They took that off the Taco Bell menu for a while, I think.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
That was
I
it.
do.
There's a place called Swig, Ron. They have one. It's a soda drive-through.
Yeah.
They used to have this one called the Gentleman's Comfort or something.
Celeste. That was at a completely different location where they have nighttime entertainment.
That was at the candy store in North Phoenix.
Getting that confused with Swig. Sometimes you got a lot of thoughts rolling around here.
But they used to have this drink, and it was called, I think, something Comfort. And anyways, they took it off the menu. I hope it comes back.
One more thing. At Handles, hey, Handles, we need everybody working at Handles or customers. Please ask them to put their unusual flavor. It was the only place in the valley you could get it. Unless you guys know of another place, grape flavored ice cream.
At Handles.
At Handles, at the one in Gilbert. Dave, would you be on board with that, with Handles grape ice cream? Anything else you want to see on the menu? Get off your chest once and for all? No.
You guys are doing great.
All right.
Dave loves when we catch him off guard.
Hang on. Brian just yelled something. What, Brian? The McDeal at McDonald's?
McBLT.
Oh, the McBLT.
McBLT.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know. Yeah. McBLT.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We carry a lot of weight in this town, let me tell you. I'm expecting everything to change tomorrow. So, yeah. Anyway.
Look at AZ Raider. He worked at the Cave Creek Opened Bell Road in Scottsdale, 28th Street. Great family to work for. I worked at the one, I think it might be closed. It's on Broadway and Hardy.
Okay.
That's the location I worked at.
Hey, by the way, Linda is saying I was a server at the Sambos in Prescott and Provo and Tempe, and she worked at the BYU bookstore for a while, too. So did my daughter.
Oh, my goodness.
So we always had our kids. We said, look, we'll help to pay for your education, but you do need to work during your college years.
Yeah, get a job.
Please don't spend 15 hours playing video games.
Well, listen to Halakita, Ron. Here it is. Bring sweet tomatoes back. That's another really good, like the salad bar, the soup bar, the whole thing.
They must not be money makers or something, because I loved those salad bars.
I know, so good.
Okay, one last item, and then we're going to get out of here. We're going to make way for Anita and Des. Celeste, people are losing their accents if they're in Generation Z.
Oh.
There's some new research out today from the University of Georgia saying they're spotting a steady decline in people speaking in the Southern drawl with each new generation.
Oh.
And guess why?
Why is that?
Because they're spending so much time on their phone that they basically, it's not like they're in conversation with grandma and grandpa all the time and just naturally picking up on the Southern drawl or any other accent from any other part of the country.
Right.
Although I really don't think the New Yorkers are going to give up their accent.
Yes.
And I don't think in Boston, where you can park the car at Harvard Yard, I don't think that one's going away either. But at least in the South, they're saying the Southern accent is going away.
Yeah, it's that. I feel like we need to revisit that because it's a part of your. It's a part of your your history.
Absolutely,
in that part of the country.
Correct.
You know.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Harvard. Wait.
Park the car at Harvard Yard.
Park the car at Harvard Yard.
Oh, I always think I sound like one of the Kennedys when I'm speaking like that. Anyway, all right, so we have to wrap up, Celeste. We wish we could go longer. I'm in conversation with the boss to launch a new 12 noon to 2 p.m. live show every day.
Oh, and
will you stick around?
You want me to stick around with you to do that?
Sure.
Well, first let me park the car in Harvard Yard.
You know what? At a point like this, we go right to the cam and we bring up the music and we say, we appreciate you for hanging with us. That's for sure. Here comes Des and Anita.
Have a great day, everyone.
We're here. Yeah.
That surprises me. Typically, you're like, I don't love Tuesdays that much.
Well, I'm hearing an echo.
Yeah,
you
we're
guys.
hearing
Sorry.
ourselves,
It's a little
too.
distracting.
I think they're switching out.
I only say that because the caffeine must be really kicking in today. I mean,
I did a live shot at a restaurant, and they gave me a Diet Coke, which I try unless someone brings me Diet Coke like you did for my
That was
birthday.
your little birthday present.
Thank you. I try not to drink a lot of soda just because it's not so super great for you.
Yeah.
And if you give me one Diet Coke, I need 55 Diet Cokes.
I hear
Amen.
ya.
Amen. If
My kryptonite of drink is Raisin Cane sweet tea. It's so good. But
you
it's
haven't
not good
talked
for the
about that in a
waistline.
while.
I know, because I've been okay. I'm not gonna lie, because there was a point in time where I was going twice
Twice a day?
twice a weekend, and getting the large.
The weekend only has 2 days, girl.
Exactly. Okay. Exactly. So now, we got more self-control in 2020.
It's hard, though.
But it's so good.
It's hard. It gets in your head, I feel, right?
Yeah.
So we have a couple of things that we want to talk about today. And I think the big topic with a lot of people is Greenland.
Yeah.
And so President Trump is in Switzerland, and we, you hear so many things, everyday changes. We have an interview, and we are going to introduce our interview. Hello. I want to be sure that I say your name correctly, so I'm going to have you introduce yourself, please.
Fair. Hello. Thanks for having me. My name is Rasmus Søndergaard.
Oh, hello. My goodness. And where are you located?
Copenhagen, Denmark.
Oh, how amazing.
Oh, wow. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. So I see it's dark back there now. What time do you have?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's 7 o'clock here in the evening.
So. So you probably just had dinner or supper or...
I just put the kids to bed, yes, and yeah.
So we want to talk about Greenland, obviously, and it's very interesting then to get your perspective, obviously, with where you are located, and talk a little bit about your credentials for us, and then where things sit.
Sure. So I'm a senior researcher at the Danish Institute for International Studies, where I focus mostly on U.S. foreign policy and sort of transatlantic relations. If you want to talk about where things are currently with Greenland, of course, we're in a situation where we might be looking at some form of trade war, unfortunately, between Europe and the United States, since President Trump is determined to force his way to control over Greenland. Yeah.
And can you speak on the fact that, obviously, right, he's threatening to impose 10% tariffs. If things don't change, that's going to go up to 20%. But before we even get there, the leaders of the 27 European nations are meeting for a pretty big meeting later this week. What are those nations that are involved? What do they plan to discuss as it relates to Greenland?
Yeah, that's correct. So the European Council, which is all the heads of state of the 27 member states of the European Union, are meeting on Thursday. So we'll have to see. But obviously, the top item on their agenda is how to respond to the threat of tariffs from President Trump. The EU has a number of options. It might use its anti-coercion measures, which means it could choose to, we don't know yet, but it could choose to limit American companies' access to European markets, put some export controls on specific exports into the U.S. that the U.S. depends on from Europe. And of course, it could retaliate with tariffs if the U.S. follows through on its proposed tariffs.
Could be a show of force on their side. I mean, obviously, President Trump in threatening tariffs is obviously trying to impact economics there, but it could impact the U.S., just as you mentioned as well. Is there an alternative here, in your opinion? Can the U.S. and Denmark potentially work together, form a partnership in operating Greenland?
I certainly hope so. And if President Trump is willing, the path is quite straightforward. So there's already a defense agreement between the United States, Greenland, and Denmark. It has been put in place back in 1951, and it's still in place. And it gives the U.S. full access to Greenland for any sort of military bases, any operations, etc. It's also the foundation for the current U.S. military base in Petruccelli in northern Greenland. So there is a framework. If the three parties, Greenland, Denmark, and the United States, were willing to sit down and talk about it, there's certainly an option to build on the existing framework. You could also include cooperation on extraction of minerals, rare earths, etc. And I think there's also broad agreement in Greenland and Denmark with President Trump's desire to keep any Russian and Chinese influence out of Greenland.
Yeah, very interesting. I also thought it was interesting. I think a lot of people are looking at his reference to the Nobel Peace Prize and the fact that he didn't win it last year, allegedly sending a text message Sunday to the Norwegian Prime Minister and basically saying, well, you didn't give me the Nobel Peace Prize, so I stopped 8 wars plus, and I no longer feel an obligation to think purely of that. I want Greenland. What do you think about that?
Well, President Trump clearly feels that he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize, and it's not really up to the Prime Minister of Norway to decide given that the prize is awarded by an independent committee on which the Prime Minister is not a part. So as much as the Prime Minister may or may not want to help Trump get the Peace Prize, it's not really for him to decide. It's up to the Nobel Committee. But certainly Trump feels very strongly that he deserves the Peace Prize, and he has been, I would say, campaigning pretty hard over the year, referring to all the other conflicts around the world that he claims to have ended. Now apparently not getting the Nobel Peace Prize is also one of the reasons why he is imposing tariffs.
And are you originally from Denmark, Rasmus?
I am.
Okay, so what are folks saying there? I mean, this is your home. We really haven't talked about Greenland and haven't seen this escalation in a very long time. Like you said, that agreement dates back to 1951. So just what is the sentiment there? What are folks saying?
I would describe it in one word, and that's probably defiance. People have been taking to the streets to show solidarity with Greenland, both here in Denmark, but also in Greenland itself. And there is certainly a sense that Denmark and Greenland has tried to be reasonable in our view, and that apparently Donald Trump is so determined to take control over Greenland and not willing to listen to proposals from Denmark and Greenland. So there's a mood on the street that is defiance, but also disbelief, because, I mean, Denmark has sought to be the best ally to the United States for decades, fighting in wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, and generally having an extremely favorable view of the United States. So people are frustrated that President Trump is now singling out Denmark and Greenland and pursuing what from here views like a very aggressive policy for no particular good reason.
Mm-hmm. And we're getting a couple of questions in the chat that I would like to bring up if we can do that. And we do have live listeners who are weighing in. And one says, I don't understand the strategic argument when we are both part of NATO, at least for now anyway. What do you think about that comment?
I fully agree with that sentiment. I also don't understand the strategic value because the U.S. has the defense agreement, which means you can put as many military bases up there as you like. You used to have a dozen of them during the Cold War. The U.S. could establish them tomorrow if they like. No one would object to that. And on top of that, correctly, as your viewer points out, Greenland through Denmark is part of NATO. And so it is a joint NATO obligation to defend Greenland. And Denmark and Greenland welcomes any U.S. support for this. And I should also say, I mean, really, for the American taxpayer, it would be a lot easier to just cooperate with Denmark and Greenland and have us lift some of the expenses as well, as opposed to this proposal of somehow spending, $700 billion to acquire a country that doesn't want to be acquired.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I have about 2 minutes left. One more question I thought was interesting. Is the United States... Is it that the United States and the citizens of Greenland dislike, or is it the president himself that you think that they dislike? Very interesting question.
Great question. And I mean, it's clearly President Trump and his determination to try and take control over Greenland that Greenlanders and Danes and Europeans in general are objecting to, and not the United States. And again, like I said, in Denmark, in Greenland, historically, we've had an exceptionally favorable view of the United States. Unfortunately, with President Trump, that is rapidly changing. But again, it is really President Trump and his policy that's the root of the disagreement, and not any objection whatsoever to the American people or the United States as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's kind of a shame to see because you are describing a pretty well working relationship, it sounds like. So hopefully there's some solid ground. Maybe after they get through this big meeting later this week, they can sit down and just figure this out.
And to play off that, we were talking about tariffs. And so when the president took office, he said, I'm imposing this tariff and I'm imposing this tariff. And then, maybe kind of changed his mind a little bit and lowered some of the tariffs or changed some of the tariffs. Is there any possible hope that we might see that here?
My best guess would be that Trump is so determined to be a president that expands U.S. territory, and Greenland is his best chance of doing that. So I have a hard time seeing the president back down. But it's true in the past, he has, of course, threatened with tariffs or imposed tariffs and then walked back on them. And of course, there's still hope that President Trump will do what he does best, which is sit down and make a deal. and do a deal that is to the benefit of all the parties involved.
Mm-hmm. And one of the reasonings that President Trump highlighted was lack of resources that he feels Danish officials are putting into Greenland, protecting it, securing it, whatever it may be. Is that true, considering Danish officials did approve a pretty big package?
Yeah, Denmark is a small country. We have recently approved a considerable increase in spending in Arctic defense, Arctic security. Many of the capabilities that directly benefit the US, because they are basically about situational awareness, that is making sure what's happening up there and feeding that information to the Americans, so we have an idea about what Russia might do one day. The reality is this: the Arctic used to be a low-tension region, and the countries in the region agreed that it should be not militarized and low tension. That has changed because Russia is building up its military presence, not in Greenland, but in its own part of the Arctic, in the Russian part of the Arctic. And because of that, Denmark is now also spending more on defense. Mm-hmm. The one party that is not really spending so much on defense in the Arctic is the United States. Mm-hmm. And so again, Donald Trump, the U.S., is welcome to increase their military presence in Greenland, expand the Pituffik Space Base, build more bases, put up radars, whatever it is that Trump feels is necessary. And then in cooperation with Denmark through NATO, we are able to solve the problem.
Amazing feedback.
Thank you so
much. Yeah, we really appreciate that. Rasmus, thank you so much. Have a very pleasant evening. We hope to talk to you again soon.
Thanks so much for having me on.
Thank you.
Yeah,
have a nice day.
Thank you.
We've got about 20 seconds. We're going to take a break. We are watching to see if President is going to be taken to the podium during the daily briefing, the press briefing. So if he does, in fact, do that, we will bring that to you. But if not, coming up, we have a guest from the Bender Performing Arts. We'll be right back.
Super. All right, you can go on over. Great.
All right, welcome back in. We have a very fun, beautiful guest joining us. Shayna, I don't want to butcher the last name again.
It's okay. It's Petruccelli.
Petruccelli. Nice and close to that mic for us.
It.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Performing Arts, what is that?
Bender Performing Arts, we are a dance, music, and musical theater school in North Phoenix. And we have classes from ages 2 all the way up through adults, which is why I'm here today.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Fun. Okay, and I asked you, I'm just going to be honest, I said appropriate or inappropriate adult classes.
Desiree also wants to add an eggplant emoji. To
Oh, no.
Which is a conversation for an entirely
That's another
different
segment.
We enjoy that. These are fully appropriate adult dance
There's
classes.
all
like
your
pole
clothes.
classes
Oh my
were really
gosh.
popular for a
And
minute.
more power to you. That's great. But, we have children wandering our halls
Okay,
too. So.
I love that. Well, I grew up dancing my whole life. So,
Really?
yeah, I love this. And I always felt like I love dance and I love moving, but as an adult, there's not that many avenues to do that. I took ballet, tap, jazz. So what are you offering adults?
You should come join us.
I would love to.
So this class is a 6-week session. The first one is February 2nd. It runs from there for 6 weeks. And it's entitled a Dance Fusion class. It's basically, we explore different styles of jazz and hip hop in a fun way to get you moving. And if you were a trained dancer at all, we would love to have you. If you were not a trained dancer at all and you just have been intrigued by it and it's something you're like, I've always wanted to try this, we would love to have you too.
How difficult is it as an adult to walk in? We all dance a lot. You go to a wedding or you go to
you two-step.
Yeah, you move a little bit. But if you really don't have a background, you don't have training, how difficult is it to walk into one of these classes and start learning something?
Yeah, I got to say, this community, so we've been doing these sessions for a while now. This community of dancers and adults is fabulous. They are so welcoming. The last one that we did was sort of before winter break, and we had dancers of all abilities and experiences there, and they just kind of band together, and we've had actually groups of them come back up to register for this new class because they've made friends and they've welcomed each other in. So it's something that even if you're nervous, everybody's a beginner once, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're a beginner and you're nervous, come. Enjoy the time, move, and you will learn something. You will grow.
What are we looking at right now? What type of dance are we learning in that photo?
That one right there looks, you're right, good old tap right there. That is actually our adult tap class, which runs year round. So that one, if you ever want to learn how to tap, that one is available all year. This jazz one is only 6 weeks.
Okay. I do what you call that fake tap, where I think I know how to tap in. Because who doesn't sit there?
I love that.
Mimicking a little bit of a dance. Last week, Desiree coerced.
We danced. Did you see that?
No, I missed that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna have to catch me up. I want to see
go
this.
to one of our Instagram pages, and
you guys watching too can go take
She's
a look
a good
at that.
teacher.
But so it's 6 weeks, so you have to commit to the 6 weeks.
Yeah, we do sell it as a full 6-week package, so that you can kind of use at least the first week or two to get used to it, to get moving again, to experience the flexibility and the cardio aspect of it, and to kind of start to make friends. And then kind of it keeps you going, right? It's like
you want to go back for more.
Yeah, like new year, new you kind of stuff. It keeps you coming back and being committed.
Okay. And how often are the classes?
Once a week, Mondays, 8:30 p.m. And you can register for them at our website, benderperformingarts.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. But we can also, and this is nice because it's for adults. So can I take that class as an adult and then my child be maybe in a dance class as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We have classes all the way, kids all the way up through adults.
Okay. So how young do you take kids?
We start at 2.5.
It's 2.5.
Oh, you should take the girls.
Oh, yeah.
They would love that.
It's time to get them into something.
Let me know.
Yeah.
Just come.
Yeah.
How do people find you? How do they register? How much does it cost? All the good stuff.
Yeah, the cost is $137 for all 6 sessions. So it's
that's not
all
bad.
encompassed.
I thought you were going to say more, honestly.
I know. It's really cost efficient. Like I said, you can go to our website, benderperformingarts.com, or you can call our front desk, and they are happy to help you as well.
Are you one of the teachers?
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got that dancer's body. That's for sure.
Years and years.
Yeah. Where's your studio?
North Phoenix. We're at Beardsley and 32nd Street.
Okay, perfect.
We'll put all that info up on the website.
I'm looking at the little colors on the website. They're so cute.
Someone said, Lil Philosophy says, I hope tap dancing comes back.
We love tap dancing. It's one of my favorites.
It's like a Ginger Rogers.
I had a love-hate with tap. I started.
Did you?
I hated it. It's difficult. Because you really have to think about tap and making the sound with every part of your foot.
Yeah.
And I would come home from tap class and I would cry. I told my mom, I want to quit tap. She made me stay. I'm so glad she did. Once you get it and get the rhythm and learn the steps, it really is a magical form of dance.
It is. And it develops so much musicality strengthen your feet and your legs. It's really a wonderful style.
Yeah, you're making music with your feet.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great to meet you guys.
Yeah, we will put all of that information up on our website and make sure that if anyone's interested in some dance classes, you will find the way to do it. Okay, do you know what I'm thinking right now?
What? That we're going to tap? What?
You need to teach me how to tap.
There, she got the time step going.
There we go. We're going to introduce you guys to our next and final guest. Joshua Kane, hello to you.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning from New York City. How is everyone today?
Is it cold in New York City?
It is about 8 degrees. The dogs are sticking to the sidewalks.
It's about 80 degrees here in the Phoenix area.
I am so looking forward to coming out to Phoenix and Mesa and being at the Mesa Arts Center with Borders of the Mind, the psychic show for the whole family.
Okay, so you are a mentalist. What does a mentalist do, Joshua?
Well, as a mentalist, my mentalism is a little bit different than most people. I'm a classical actor in New York City. You hear me on lots of voiceovers regularly. And I use my skills as an actor and my 5 senses to create the illusion of an extra sense. In Borders of the Mind is the psychic show, as I said, for the whole family. It's for children, and it's for families, and it's for adults and couples. It is the show for everyone who wishes they'd gotten a letter from Hogwarts, everyone who wishes what was odd and strange about them as a teenager would turn out to be a latent superpower like in the X-Men, and everyone who wishes that at some point in their life, someone would point a finger at them and say, "You are the one," like Neo in The Matrix. During the performance, more than 40 volunteers are going to make it up onto the stage, and we're going to explore to see if we can detect their latent psychic powers and abilities. The show isn't about me, it's about everyone who comes. And the rest of the people in the audience also get to interact and play throughout the show as well. The house lights will be up for the entire time. We're going to be able to play games together, interact, and create a phenomenal experience, highlighting the talents of the people who come to the show.
So how do you know if people have talents? You're looking at Des and I right now. Would we be able to play, if you pulled us up on stage, what would we be doing?
Our director is saying no. Back there.
No, your director's completely off. You are two very intuitive people. I've taken time to look at some of your clips online, and you have incredible empathy when you are listening to people. And empathy is a superpower. We like to say in Borders of the Mind, discover your inner superhero. So people are going to come up on stage, and we're going to play games about lie detection. We're going to see if you can read my mind as well as my seeing if I can detect your thoughts. I can't just pluck random thoughts out of people's minds. So people's PIN numbers are entirely safe. I'm not going to be going to the ATM.
Our bank
account, yeah, you're good.
Exactly. So it's within the context of the games that we play that feeling of actual mind reading takes place. You know those incredible moments of synchronicity that we crave that make for great friendships and relationships? You're thinking about a friend and suddenly the phone rings and you know it's them, but it's not caller ID. It's just that connection has been made. When we come together with a spirit of goodwill and we leave cynicism outside of the room, because cynicism and creativity cannot dwell in the same place, we can create incredible theatrical events together because it's the people who come to the theater who make the difference. We discover each other. I go to the theater for the same reason that most people go to church or synagogue. I go to hear great stories told in community and discover the people who we belong with, enjoying those stories at the same time. So in Borders of the Mind, we're going to play games of lie detection. We're going to be having people try to project their secret thoughts to me and to other members of the audience. And there will be people in that room who will be able to receive my thoughts. Because we have incredible abilities, we just need to take the time to breathe together, relax, enjoy ourselves, and let special things take place and happen.
Wow. So people that are part of your show, what do they say about after this experience with you and being part of that? Are they just stunned?
Well, the best part of the show is rather than people thinking that I'm like a regular magician who people are trying to figure out what it is I'm doing or how I'm doing it, they want to learn how they can increase their own special abilities, their memory skills, their lie detection skills, their abilities to receive the subliminal communication that all of us are sending out all of the time. So during the show, I talk about my mentorship. I was mentored by a bodyguard to the Dalai Lama by the name of Gary Lee Williams, who took me under his wing when I was 13 years old and had me reading incredible books on body language, memory techniques, communication skills. It turns out he was trying to teach a 13-year-old teenager how to read a room. And now that I'm in my 60s, I think I finally learned a bit. So during that show, I will be teaching those skills to the audience. And I know I've succeeded if at the end of the show, instead of people saying, how did he do it? It's how can I learn how to do more of that myself?
So it's something that we can all learn. It's not something that you're necessarily born with.
Well, I think we are all born with incredible abilities to receive communication and to send it. We can't not communicate. But over time, our skills in communication and receiving thoughts from others get shut down. We spend much time on devices like this, looking into the phone instead of looking into people's eyes. And when we take time to unplug from the world and come to the Mesa Arts Center to share a live event as a community, and we come with our friends, our families, and our loved ones, we create incredible ephemeral moments that spark remarkable conversations the next day, and sometimes for years after.
All right, Josh. Mesa Arts Center.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've got about a minute and a half left, though. What is your tip on how to detect that someone is lying?
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, one of the greatest ways to detect when people are lying, Anita and Desiree, is to mark whether the patterns have changed that they've been showing when you know they're telling the truth. Has their breathing changed? Is the eye contact suddenly shifting away or too much on? Very often when people are speaking, we don't actually look each other in the face. But when somebody is lying to us, most of the time, they will try to convince us of the truth. And it's the over-convincing that we always need to worry about. So for lie detection, go with your gut. Know what you trust. And look for where things are different, and that makes a big difference. And when you come to the Mesa Arts Center as a family, we are going to be, and friends, we're going to be exploring these events together, and we will discover remarkable things about each other.
Great.
Awesome.
When can we see you, Josh? When's the show? Remind everybody.
January 24th, 3 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. This way, families can come together for the matinee or the evening, and the people looking for a remarkable date to discover new things about each other can come to either show as well. There are two opportunities, and there's only 200 seats for each of these performances. This is an intimate experience, and since, as I said, approximately 40 volunteers get to play in every game, that's almost 25% of the audience.
Josh, thank you so much. We are done for the day, but we're going to have you back on when you come into town.
Safe travels.
Thank you. I look forward to that. See you both soon.
Thank you.
Okay, stay warm out there. Bye.
I will.
Okay, you're staying?
Yep.
Ron's going to join you. I'm going to take
right
off,
here.
guys. We'll be right back.
All right, Desiree. Let me just check my phone because I'm pretty sure I would have heard from one Dean Fazzini by now. This is Petoskey, Michigan, which the time that I drove through there, of course, to get some pizza, I was coming back from Traverse City. It's a beautiful town. It's right on the shores of the lake. but you would not know it from today. That is pretty darn close to whiteout conditions in Michigan. And I know this kind of makes you feel like home. Because would you have a lot of sort of bluebird, blue sky days with the snow, or did you have a lot of days like this?
There were many days like that. Yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately, they're kind of enduring some of that even as we speak. My parents said they're just getting so much snow. But yeah, this was typical. I took so many drives like that, looking like that, Ron, to college. And I did not live close. I was like a 45-minute drive.
Wow.
35 miles north of like the city of Buffalo.
Okay.
So,
really?
Yeah, so many times I would drive through that in the winter. But then when you get those really beautiful, clear winter days where the sky just looks so crisp and you can see Canada, across the lake. It was pretty cool.
I don't have permission to share this here on the streaming show. By the way, Ron and Des, good morning, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. But if I can confirm that this is real and not AI, and I've seen headlines, I believe this is true. They had one of the most epic snowstorms. Hey, you know what? Every year we report that the Earth is warming up another, 10th of a degree. So if we have a really cold year or winter, whatever, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But did you see these pictures out of Kamchatka, Russia?
Whoa.
Of the snowstorm?
I mean, that looks believable to me, though.
So I would just say at home, if you want to Google Kamchatka snow, it'll blow your mind.
Wow.
I mean, they have apartment buildings, but no way to even get out of them.
Yeah, that looks like Buffalo when we had our Snowvember storm.
Oh, my gosh.
Was it 2017, maybe? Homes were literally snowed in.
Yeah.
So that's pretty wild.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Desiree Fluellen, we present to you beautiful Buffalo.
Oh, Dean.
So, let's see. The railroad bridge looks like it runs right along the water. This looks like it's probably more from downtown looking off, I don't know, toward Orchard Park or toward Lackawanna. Or, I don't know. Maybe
how do you know Lackawanna?
Rochester. Des, I make it my business to have a map embedded in my brain that I can just cycle through.
I guess it is embedded. I'm not even exactly sure where this is positioned and what we're looking at. No, you're so good. This is somewhere downtown.
By the way, Steph Lacey, we love you chatting with us. Good morning to everybody in the chat. We really appreciate you guys so much. She says, Traverse City is my favorite. So beautiful. Especially along Sleeping Bear National Lake Shore.
Oh.
So, yeah.
That sounds majestic.
People don't realize, but there is, and you, of course, how many times did you go to Niagara Falls in your life?
Oh.
Because, of course, you lived an hour from it, right? 45 minutes?
I mean, a couple handfuls.
Okay. Yeah. 15 times, maybe something like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, it is unbelievable. The second biggest waterfall in the entire eastern U.S. is called Tequamanon Falls, and it's right up there north of Petoskey, where we were just showing you.
Oh.
And it's really stunning. It's number 2 to Niagara Falls. And so it's worth checking out for sure.
Worth the visit.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so anyway, Ron and Des hanging out with you till noon. We thought that this story, we were both really interested in it. We kind of shared thoughts, and I'm thinking, this would be a story we should share with you guys if you missed it. And Des had given me a note saying the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. It's a follow-up on the story from yesterday of in a state like Arizona where a lot of people own guns. What goes through your brain when you try to break into somebody's house? Because it's not going to end well, right?
No. Either you're not thinking or, because like you said, I would just automatically assume 9 out of 10 times a homeowner is going to have some sort of firearm at home. So, and typically, too, how often do we see home invasions in this business? And 9 out of 10 times, that house was actually maybe a target and the person had some sort of connection.
Correct.
But they're saying that does not seem to be the case here.
Because guess what? There are burglaries that happen every night. We got 5 million people live in this metro area. There are burglaries that probably happen every night, where somebody breaks into a home and they're hoping to, steal whatever they can find. And most of the time, it probably is not any kind of a news story. You know, maybe they file a police report the next, and they had no idea whoever stole something out of their house. But boy, in this case, the family inside was ready. And just check out this report from a little earlier on Fox 10. Ready? So here we go.
This happened just after 9 o'clock Sunday night. Buckeye Police telling us the attack appears to be random, as a mother and her 2 adult children were inside the family home when an intruder forced his way in, the family acting in self-defense, shooting and killing the man.
Pop, pop, pop.
Neighbors describe gunshots coming from a family home on West Desert Bloom Street in Buckeye, just off Yuma Road Sunday night. Neighbors, now in fear, wouldn't show their faces on camera.
I thought it was just fireworks because we heard fireworks during the first of the year. I just thought it was random fireworks.
Instead, police say a 27-year-old man, identified as Michael Diaz, was trying to force his way into a family's home, banging on the front door at 9 p.m. Investigators say the mother went to answer the door when the intruder ripped the home's security gate from its hinges, forcing his way inside.
I was in my living room with my wife and my daughter. We did hear some multiple gunshots.
The homeowner armed shot and killed Diaz, police say, in self-defense.
Neighbors also tell us that this is a very typically quiet family neighborhood. As for that family that was a part of the home invasion last night, they're not speaking with media at this time, but we did go up to that front door, and there are still obvious remnants from last night's attack. Their front door now bolted up, that gate completely ripped from the hinges and on the floor. There's still evidence markers around and even bloodstains. In Buckeye, Kenzie Beach, Fox 10 News.
Okay, so Kenzie does such a great job for us. I mean, we had the story yesterday morning just as a very, as we call in the business, a VO, a voiceover. But she got out there and started talking to neighbors. And yeah, you can imagine the shock in that neighborhood. But you got a mom here and her 2 adult sons. One of them happened to be armed. You have no idea what this guy who was trying to break in was on his mind.
Right. Yeah. A scary situation. And in that case, you're lucky that you're thankful that you had firearms and able to defend yourself. I mean, when someone enters your home at night, late at night.
Right.
Too.
Yeah.
Well, and we're seeing someone in the chat, before we moved on, Steph Lacey said that someone tried to break into her rental once in Payson.
Really?
But luckily her boyfriend had scared them off. It hasn't happened to her in 30 years. You would feel at that point, I think, so violated. I mean, that is a pretty terrifying experience.
Sure, right? Okay, so this other story that's getting a lot of talk is photo radar. Is it time to can the cameras? I believe, I got to dig into this a little bit. I think what they're talking about, the photo radar cameras. The red light running cameras are a different situation. But this is a proposal by State Senator Wendy Rogers and Mark Fincham that would allow voters to ban the use of photo radar cameras. And so, we have been following this. It's come up before, but I think the governor was opposed to it. So this time around, the idea is put it before the voters. But let's see how it's doing in our poll question to find out whether or not the voters are for it or not. So here, it's actually, when you add the A and C up, it's pretty close to a tie with B. So 16% are saying, what we really need are more officers on patrol, not cameras. You want to, if somebody's going 70 miles an hour down, Ocotillo Road or something, an officer probably should have some kind of an interaction with them rather than just a camera. Snap and you send the money in. And 31% say, they're mostly just money makers for these cities. Des, I had some numbers last hour that in Washington, D.C. alone, they bring in, I'm going to have you guess because I had Celeste guess too. It's over $1 million a year. Price is Right rules. What would you guess the total that they bring in?
Upwards of $5 million.
Try $130 million a year.
Wow.
It's got to be about the biggest moneymaker they have in Washington, D.C.
And I guess that's probably right. Part of the argument. Is it a moneymaker and it's not deterring anyone from speeding? It's not forcing anybody to slow down.
Right. Well, I slow down
or
when I see
it?
them.
But if it's collecting nearly $100 million, sounds like people aren't slowing down.
Okay, so
the ticket.
Look at this. One 0.5 thousand votes, so 1,500 votes. We're going to go to Dave in about 30 seconds. But Des, what are you seeing on the YouTube?
Yeah, so 51% here say yes, they're mostly just moneymakers for the cities. Sounds like it. Those numbers coming out of Washington.
Right.
26% say no, they force people to slow down. And 23% say we need more officers on patrol.
So this is interesting. So often the YouTube poll and the QR code just don't agree with each other. Once again, 51% are saying, you know, you start to dig into it a little bit and you realize they are definitely making money for the city. So let's go to the man. He's looking. What do you see him, friend?
Yeah, a lot of comments on this one, as always. Keith in Phoenix says, I've been a local truck driver in Phoenix since 1991. I've seen the difference photo radar cameras make on traffic. In the late 90s and 2000s, traffic was so much better because people didn't race all over. After the cameras were taken out, traffic went back to being insane. I saw it, I lived it, I remember it. Don't speed and you don't get a ticket. It's really that simple. And finally, Steve Fairbank in Phoenix says, if people drove safely and obeyed the traffic devices, they wouldn't have to worry about it. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Really interesting comments. Keep them up, everybody.
Okay, so there you go. What we ought to try to do, Dave, is get one of these legislators to come in and talk a little bit about it. It's interesting to me because I'm not sure which poll would be proved right if it does go before the voters, because it sounds like why not let the voters decide it? I mean, we live in a democracy.
And I just would love to see the statistics behind it.
Right.
Like, is there proof that it deters people from speeding and running red lights?
Sure.
I mean,
yeah.
If so, then maybe they are something you want to keep in place.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so mystery cam time. Look at this, would you?
Spot.
There are places in the U.S. that aren't snowy like Buffalo.
Wow.
Or Petoskey. Or so much of the country that is like so beautiful. Makes me want to hop on a train and get there, or hop in the car or drive over there. Where do you think? Give us your guesses. Des, you got any early feel on this one?
I don't know.
Okay.
Let me think on it.
We all got 2 minutes to noodle it around. Give us your guesses on the mystery camp. All right, so Des and I are both trying to get a little sugar boost going here to enhance our brain power to guess. We're eating some Skittles. I guess Anita left them here, right?
Yeah.
It's all fair game.
Nice little pick
in
me
the
up.
Newsroom.
Yeah, you snooze, you lose. You leave them behind, they're mine.
There you go. All right, so what are you seeing? Are you seeing some guesses?
Yeah, the chat is active with their guesses. Louis Gonzalez thinking it might be Florida, and there is a couple guesses for Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Little Philosophy, B. Miguel also going Florida, and Darla as well. I'm thinking that's a solid guess.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
then we have Alabama, South Carolina in there too.
All right. So I think it's on the Gulf Coast. So I think it's not on the Atlantic side. I'm not 100% sure, but it's those white sandy beaches. You see them everywhere when you're down on the Gulf Coast. So I'm going to go either Bama or Mississippi. Let me think about this. Halakita Sand, Mississippi.
I'm going to go Florida with the majority.
Okay. I guess I'm going to go with Halakita and go Mississippi. Ladies and gentlemen, Desiree Fluellen is here to announce today's winner.
I don't.
Okay.
Do we have it?
It's right there underneath the Skittles.
Right
Yeah.
here. Oh,
Okay. Right.
I was too distracted by the Skittles.
I know, me too.
Okay. Mystery Cam. It's Biloxi.
It is Mississippi.
It's Mississippi.
Halakita, thank
Nice.
you
Good
very
job.
much. Let's go back and look one more time. That is like very underappreciated when it comes to a beautiful beach town, right?
Wow.
That is really pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
I know. We're catching them on a nice day. That
Nice.
is for sure. How about Ole Miss? They almost beat Miami to make it to the national championship game, but Miami is good. That defense, they were beaten on Fernando Mendoza. And by the way, this story, I think it's so cool. You probably noticed if you watched the game yesterday that they kept showing Fernando's mom and dad.
Yeah.
And dad never stood up to root for his son, even on the biggest plays. And it's because Fernando's mom has MS and she's in a wheelchair. And so she can't stand up. So her husband is not going to stand up.
That's amazing.
It is so cool.
At one point, though, he got so excited. It looked like he reached over and was like choking her. I'm like, oh, gosh. He's like real excited.
I know.
It's like, don't choke her off.
I guess he was trying to kind of keep her calm or something, right?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah, that's what he does. He tries to keep her calm because, right? Otherwise, I'm not sure. Do you know why exactly? Because she has MS.
Yeah.
He doesn't want her getting too overly excited.
Maybe.
I don't know if it would cause like an episode or.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure either, but just to.
What a game.
The whole thing.
What a
is just-
game.
Now,
For them to go undefeated.
16-0. And so, anyway, it's such a great story in the world of sports. And I have to remember to post the picture of my little granddaughter, Claire Bear, and me rooting for the Hoosiers last night.
Oh, yes, post that.
Okay,
So
it was pretty
cute.
fun.
Yeah, let's see it.
So you have a little coffee in the morning as you wake you up, right, Des?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
And
Every morning.
I'd like to drink this drink called Sparkling Ice. It's a kind of an
kinda like
energy
your
drink,
energy drink.
kind of a soda, but it has no aspartame.
Oh, good.
Come on, Robert F. Kennedy.
Yeah, that's
How long has he been
for you.
sitting on that job and aspartame is still everywhere? Don't get me started, Desiree.
It's in everything.
Okay, so here's why we're talking about coffee this morning. A new study finds that some of the compounds in roasted coffee beans slow the amount of sugar released into the bloodstream, particularly if you and your coworker are eating Skittles today.
Really?
Researchers identified 3 previously unknown compounds in the coffee bean that block an enzyme that plays a key role in how fast sugar enters the body. So I think that's
I thought
really
this was interesting.
encouraging.
Well, because you are diabetic.
Correct. And I don't drink coffee.
But you don't drink coffee.
I know.
Does this change your mind?
Not really.
No.
I've tried it a few times. I don't really like the taste. I have all kinds of reasons.
I was just going to
for
ask,
not
were you
drinking
ever a coffee drinker?
No, but anyway,
No.
the president is speaking. Let's go to him live.
Oh, yes,
and
okay.
here's the White House. Ready?
Completing wars. Nobody's really seen very much like it. I think it's appropriate that because Minnesota is so much in the fray, and I say to my people all the time, and they're so busy doing other things, they don't say it like they should. They're apprehending murderers and drug dealers and a lot of bad people, and these are just some of the more recent ones that we have, and I can show you some of the people, vicious, many of them murderers. These are all out of Minnesota, just Minnesota. I say, why don't you talk about that more? Because people don't know. Do you want to live with these people? International murder. These are people that are living, they're apprehended and either put in jails in their country from where they came, and the countries respect us, and so they actually put them there. In the old days, they didn't respect our country. Biden wouldn't do this because he let them all in. You know, if you didn't have open border policies of Biden, none of this, all of the things that all of the time that we spend talking about Minnesota and everything else, most of them are coming from out of the country. And it's been caused by a previous administrator. Look at this, one after one. Boy, these are rough characters. These are all criminal, illegal aliens that, in many cases, they're murderers, they're drug lords, drug dealers, they're the mentally insane. There's some of them who are brutal killers, they're mentally insane. They're killers, but they're insane. These are just in Minnesota. California, it's worse. In other states, it's worse. No, Minnesota, the crime is incredible. The financial crimes are incredible. And the problem is because of the agitators and insurrectionists, whatever you want, troublemakers, but they're paid agitators and insurrectionists. Nobody talks about the fact that $19 billion at a minimum is missing in Minnesota, given to a large degree by Somalians. They've taken it. Somalians, can you imagine? And they don't do it. A lot of very low IQ people, they don't do it. Other people work it out, and they get them money, and they go out and buy Mercedes-Benzes, and they come from here, they have no money. They never had money. They never had a life. They never had a government. They never had a country, because there's basically no country. Somalia is not even a country. They don't have anything that resembles a country. And if it is a country, it's considered just about the worst in the world. They come here and they become rich and they don't have a job. I was told that Ilhan Omar is worth $30 million. She never had a job. She's a crooked congressman. So here's another one. And I have, oh, by the way, we just took out, these are all what ICE is doing. And it's a dangerous job. These are rough people. Weapons. This one here is very bad. I'm going through this because I think we have plenty of time. I'm going to beautiful place in Switzerland where we'll be, I'm sure I'm very happily awaited for. In Switzerland, they don't know about this. They don't have this problem. They have other problems, but they don't have this problem. Look, killed somebody. Look, and these are rough people. These are not, this was all allowed into our country through open borders. These dumbest policies, you know, men and women's sports is dumb. But to me, having an open border for the world to come in, drug dealers and prisoners, Venezuela, as an example, opened their prisons into the United States. That's why one of the reasons I felt so strongly against Venezuela. Now I'm loving Venezuela. They've been working with us so well. It's been so nice. And an unbelievably nice woman also did a very incredible thing, as you know, a few days ago. We're talking to her, and maybe we can get her involved in some way. I'd love to be able to do that. Maria, maybe we can do that. But we're dealing with the people and the president and all of the people in Venezuela, and we've been doing great. The oil companies are getting ready to make massive investments there. They have more oil than even Saudi Arabia. There you go. These are rough ones. This is all Minnesota, every one of them. This is one state out of many. And these people are, let's see, yeah, these are all, so far, people that came from outside of the country. They were allowed in by Sleepy Joe Biden, Crooked Joe Biden, whichever you like. You can call him whatever you like. They're both right. He's sleepy and he's crooked. He was the worst president we've ever had. And we've had some bad ones, too. I can tell you, all you have to do is look at trade. You're not getting bored with this, right? I hope you don't. But these are people that you have to see. Strong-arm rape, aggravated assault with a weapon, and many other crimes. Gang member, known as one of the toughest people around. These are tough people. So this is what the people are trying to protect, because all ICE wants to do is get them out of our country, bring them to prisons and jails and mental institutions from where they came. That's all they want to do. They're patriots, and they have to be abused by guys like Don Lemon, who's a loser, lightweight. I saw him the way he walked in that church. It was terrible. I have such respect for that pastor. He was so calm. He was so nice. He was just accosted. What they did in that church was horrible yesterday. Look at it here. 24 convictions. 24 times convicted. They're not charges. These are convictions. So he comes from outside the country. Do you think he's going to be good here? He's convicted 24 times. He's going to be good here, right? It doesn't work that way. It's a man murder. It's one of many. One of many. All they want to do is get him out. They want to take him out of our country. And we're met with paid agitators and insurrectionists, troublemakers. They're paid. You know, when the woman was shot, I felt terribly about that. And I understand both sides of it. But when she was shot, there was another woman that was screaming shame, 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 right? You saw it. So loud. It was like a professional opera singer. She was so loud and so professional. She wasn't a woman that was hurt, like, oh, my heart's injured. She was a professional. She's shame, shame. She's screaming shame, shame. I said, that's not a normal person.
We'll continue to follow the coverage from the president. For now, we say goodbye from FTT.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.
People that want to see our country do badly. But that's not happening because we have the hottest country anywhere in the world, despite this stuff. Look at this. All top of the line criminals. They're not going to be good. They're not going to be well behaved here. I could do thousands. We had over 3,000 in the last fairly short while. Just in Minnesota. What's the number, Carol? 10,000.
10,000 criminals arrested in Minnesota alone.
10,000 criminals. And these are serious criminals. Now, how can a place with 10,000 criminals, how can you have a state? And yet they're fighting us. Yeah, I like that guy. He keeps nodding to me. Do you agree with me, I guess? I like him. I don't know who he is, but I like him. He keeps nodding. He says, you're right. He's obviously a little on the right side, maybe. Look. These are rough ones. So this, we just